Common Ground by Dean Jones. Two children, born together, torn apart at birth, live different lives quite separately upon the same tiny patch of earth. One child needed water, the other needed space, and there began the problem amongst the human race. The child who needed space had a family which grew with age. The child which needed water was at a much more desperate stage. The need for space grew bigger, but with water he'd survive. The child who needed water could barely stay alive. And as the child got thirstier, his desperation became extreme, whilst the other child had everything, achieving each and every dream. The dream became a nightmare for the child who needed water, and the bitterness of having little spread to his son and daughter. His son and daughter's tolerance of what seemed to them unfair became the core of everything and led to anger and despair. The anger turned to violence, and the violence turned to fire, the space the other occupied divided by a wire. And each time the wire expanded out even further from the water, doing all they can to survive, father, mother, son and daughter. They smuggled food across the line, making friends with other neighbours, earning currency in different ways, survival instinct and hard labour. Whilst the child with space grew richer, selling water, growing wheat, enjoying life to some extent with enough to drink and eat. These families grew stronger. These families got an education. These families had friends across the water in more united sorts of nations. The educated children said, "Why are the thirsty ones so mad? Where is their space and water? Why is their life so different, Dad?" "We don't want the life that they have. They're different from us," he said. "Keep them at a distance. We don't need that kind of fuss." The bigger their economy grew, the stronger they became, more recently being looked upon as the winners in this game. This led to further bitterness and envy, which manifested into hate, and now the battle's raging, we fear it's all too late. Meteors rain down upon both sides of the wire, the land that each child lives within now a ferocious raging fire. And now they both need water, now they both need space, and neither side is big enough to find a peaceful place. Now the war is raging, united neighbours now are torn, and the world looks on in silence as new bitter boys are born. In the absence of the common ground between the child who wanted space and the child who wanted water to simply drink and wash his face, the child who wanted water has only fire to battle through, and the child who wanted space would rather die than let him through. And while the fire is raging, its hot embers spit and smoulder, igniting and dividing, tensions rising as each grows older. Eventually, they'll have nothing, no water, land or friends. That's the trouble with division. It never really ends. The solution lies in compromise without a shadow of a doubt. Pour the water on hot embers, turn down the dial and put them out.